Okay, first thing we're going to do is get the body warm. We're going to use something called Bruce Almighty's. Bruce Almighty's is a way to turn on the back and all the muscles down the back, glutes, everything else by stretching the front. Now we're going to just make sure we open the shoulders up. So with our thumbs up, we're going to do something similar to a Bruce Almighty, but just working on the shoulders. Then do your thumbs and palms facing down, and then with your thumbs facing down. Now we want to make sure we open those hips up. So we'll have a 90-90 hip stretch. So your front knee is at 90 degrees, your second knee is at 90 degrees. Keep your back straight, stretch over the top of the hip, breathe in, breathe out, get a bit more of a stretch. Same thing, breathe in, breathe out, a bit more of a stretch. Switch sides, repeat on the other side. Remember, as you press down to breathe in, and as you breathe out, relax into the stretch. Now squat to hip stretch. Basically we're going into a squat pattern. We're going to push our elbows into our knees and our knees into our elbows. And as we do that we relax and drop a little bit lower into the squat. We want to try and keep our feet on the floor as best we can. If you haven't got a range of motion in your ankle, maybe raise them on some books. Once you're in a position, you're going to hold onto your toes and go squat to standing. Back down and back up. This is a reverse toe touch, and this gives us the ability to stretch the hamstrings by activating the front muscles on the leg. Now, extension to flexion. So hands up above your head, stretch all the way back, bend down, touch your toes. Do that a couple of times. Whole point is we're trying to loosen up that spine. Arms in the air, and now we're going to do side bend. So bend to one side, come back to center, bend the other side. Do that a couple of times. Now we're going to work on spine rotation. So arms by your side, feet stand still, turn your back as far around as possible, then go the other way. Want to keep our lower body stable, upper body moving. Now you're going to do walking hamstring stretches. What you want to do is keep the legs straight and back straight. You take a step forward and then stretch the hamstring, and then you would take another step forward and stretch the hamstring. Point is this is a dynamic exercise, and it gives you the ability to stretch the hamstring and get yourself prepared for what we're about to do. Now we're going to do lateral lunge to post. So you pull your knee up, plant your foot, push yourself back up. And then the whole point, as you pull your knee out, you're stretching your glute, and when you land your foot, you want to make sure your foot is facing forward, so your toes are facing forward. Do a couple of them one side and a couple of them the other side. Now you're going to start stretching the front of your legs. You can do kick butts. Put your hands on your bum and kick your heels into your feet with your knees pointing to the floor. Now again we want to work on anti-rotation and upper body and lower body rotation. So what we're going to do is you're going to send your legs one way and your hands the other. This is called karaokas, and what it does, it gives you the ability to disassociate the upper body from the lower body. Sometimes it takes some timing, but continue to do it. It's a fantastic warm-up exercise for what we're going to do. Now half kneeling rotation, we put your hand on the outside of your knee, push your hand into your knee and your knee into your hand, and then you will stretch back as far as you can. Then you do the same thing on the inside of the knee, again push your hand into your knee into your hand. As you stretch back, hold it there for a second, and then come back. Do a few of them each side. What you've got to do is remember that you're swapping sides and going on the inside of the knee. This is actually working on something that I got from Coach Glass, which is about rotational slings. This is a modified version of it. So again, push your hands into your knee and rotate back as far as you can. The whole point here is to keep your lower body stable while your upper body moves. First exercise is going to be a Navy style push-up. Get in a plank position, elbows by your side, and you do as many press-ups as you can for 20 seconds. If you struggle with this, before you go onto your knees, I want you to take a breath and try and do 3, then take a breath. And if you need to go on your knees, then you go onto your knees. You're going to have 10 seconds rest. Then we go into the squat and hold position. You're going to squat down so that your thighs are at least parallel with the floor. Keep your weight into your heels. You can put your arms up if you want, arms across your chest, arms in front. We just want your weight in your heels. Stay there for 20 seconds until you get 10 seconds rest. 10 seconds rest now. Next one is going to be cross-body mountain climbers. Whole point of this is to get into the plank position, in a press-up position, and you're going to bring your knee to your opposite elbow, and you can do it as quickly as you can. You can do these for 20 seconds before you get 10 seconds rest. Next exercise is going to be the forward lunge. Now when you lunge forward, you want to make sure your knee doesn't go past your toes, so make sure you step forward far enough, and your knee that's on the back wants to go as close to the floor as possible without touching. Also as well, you want the knee to try and track over the toes so it doesn't go out or in. Now plank, knee to elbows. Whole point is to get into the plank position on your elbows. You're going to take the knee up to the elbow and plant it back into the plank position and then come back on the other side. Now we are working on upper body stability and lower body rotation. Next one is going to be squats, just a normal squat. So instead of the squat and hold, you're going to squat down, and as you come up you want to go to a straight plank position as though you're standing. If you send your arms behind you, you'll be working on extension of the elbows and extension of the arms, which will help you in further testing for your TPI screen. Next up is the plank position. Just going to get into a normal plank position and hold it for 20 seconds before you get 10 seconds rest, and into the final exercise before your long rest. Now lateral torso rotations. The whole point is you're going to jump and plant your foot. It's only going to be a single step first of all. Make sure you land flat on your foot and then turn your upper body over the knee and then jump the other way. You want to make sure you land softly, and it's more about rotation. You're going to do this for 20 seconds until you get to your rest. Now you can take 60 seconds rest, or you can do some correctives. This will help you further in your TPI screen. First one I'm going to do is reach, lateral, and reach behind. So we're going to get in that position, take your forearm to the floor, touch it, and then point the hand to the sky. Again, we are working here on stretching and making the upper body move while the lower body stays stationary. Lumbar lock internal rotation. Put one arm in the small of your back and turn your shoulder to the sky. Same thing the other side. Now you're going to do it internal, external rotation. We're just putting the hand on the ear. Do the exact same thing. You're going to rotate, this time your elbow to the sky. Again, we are stabilizing the lower body. Rotation. Now we're back into our next set of exercises and repeat from before. So press ups, as many as you can. We're going to work this for 20 seconds. Next one is squat and hold. Again, you're going to squat down, try and get your thigh parallel or slightly deeper. Keep the weight into your heels. Crossbody mountain climbers now. So you're going to get into the press up position. And you're going to take your knee to your opposite elbow as fast as you can. Forward lunge. You're going to plant your foot forward, lunge forward. You want your knee to stay over your toes, but don't go past your toes. And your back knee wants to be as close to the floor as possible without touching it. Try and get the feeling that you're pushing off of the floor when you go back. Plank knees to elbows. So you get in the plank position. You're going to bring your knee up towards your elbow, plant it back down into the plank position, do the other side. And do this as fast as you can, but you want it to be controlled. Squats. So again, you're going to squat down, thighs to break parallel, come straight back up into the standing position, get your arms behind you so you can extend those arms and get an extra stretch. Plank position, and you're going to hold for the 20 seconds. Finishing up again with lateral torso rotations. Again, you're going to sort of hop to one side, make sure you plant the foot, rotate your upper body over your knee, and jump the other side. It's more about control. This will become a faster exercise in other exercise sessions. "60 seconds rest. If you feel you want to stretch your lats out, you're going to sit back onto your heels. Put one hand to the side, follow it, go again, and then you're going to try and sit back into that hip, stretch that lat. You're going to breathe in, breathe out. As you breathe out, get a little bit deeper. Come back to center, go again to the other side. Sit back into that hip, stretching out your lat. This is an alternative exercise. If you feel you need the rest, just rest solidly for these 60 seconds. So press ups, as many as you can. We're going to work this for 20 seconds. Next one is squat and hold. Again, you're going to squat down, try and get your thigh parallel or slightly deeper. Keep the weight into your heels. Crossbody mountain climbers now. So you're going to get into the press up position. And you're going to take your knee to your opposite elbow as fast as you can. Forward lunge. You're going to plant your foot forward, lunge forward. You want your knee to stay over your toes, but don't go past your toes. And your back knee wants to be as close to the floor as possible without touching it. Try and get the feeling that you're pushing off of the floor when you go back. Plank knees to elbows. So you get in the plank position. You're going to bring your knee up towards your elbow, plant it back down into the plank position, do the other side. And do this as fast as you can, but you want it to be controlled. Squats. So again, you're going to squat down, thighs to break parallel, come straight back up into the standing position, get your arms behind you so you can extend those arms and get an extra stretch. Plank position, and you're going to hold for the 20 seconds. Finishing up again with lateral torso rotations. Again, you're going to sort of hop to one side, make sure you plant the foot, rotate your upper body over your knee, and jump the other side. .60 rest. But if you want to, you can do your 90-90 hip stretch. Again, you're going to get your knee, leg in front of you, 90 degrees, same both side. Push down, back straight, breathe in, breathe out. Take a bit more, breathe in, breathe out. Stretch that hip a bit more. Swap sides, do the same for the other side. Breathe in, breathe out. As you breathe out, take a bit more and stretch. Come back to the starting position and repeat. Obviously you know the drill by now. Navy push up, 20 seconds, as fast as you can, just get through the round. Now you've got your squat and hold. Legs parallel or deeper, weight into the heels. Cross body mountain climbers. Press up position, knees towards the opposite elbow, do as fast as you can. Forward lunge, lunge forward, don't take your knee past your toes. Off the front foot as you come back up. Plank knee to elbows, plank position, bring the knee up to the same side elbow and then go back down, finishing the plank position before you move to the other side. Squats, squat down, squat up into a solid tall position, arms behind you. Plank, hold for 20 seconds. Lateral torso rotations, plant the foot, rotate the upper body over the knee, then jump the other way, plant the foot, do the same thing. "60 seconds rest. If you want to do, you can do prone rocking. So you're going to get into all fours and sit back onto your heels. Find neutral spine first. As you sit back onto your heels, keep your arms out in front of you. And you're stretching the arms, lats, and the lower back. Come out of it again. Find neutral spine. Again, sit back. Stretch out those lats and that lower back. Navy push up, 20 seconds, as fast as you can. Just get through the round. Now you've got your squat and hold. Legs parallel or deeper, weight into the heels. Cross body mountain climbers. Press up position, knees towards the opposite elbow, do as fast as you can. Forward lunge. Lunge forward. Don't take your knee past your toes. Plank knee to elbows. Plank position, bring the knee up to the same side elbow and then go back down, finishing the plank position before you move to the other side. Squats. Squat down, squat up into a solid tall position. Plank. Hold for 20 seconds. Now finish up with lateral torso rotations. Remember, plant that foot, get the upper body rotating over the knee. This will help you golf no end. Make sure you land soft. It's a controlled exercise, keeping the upper body moving while the lower body takes impact and stays stable. Upper body rolling. So what you're going to do is you're going to lie on your back and you're going to lift your arm up, drive your head as though it's going in towards your other armpit, and let your upper body pull your lower body over. As you go back, you do exactly the same thing. Point your hands to the sky. Try and look at your fingers, look up to the sky and roll all the way over. We just want to be using the upper body and the lower body just comes along for the ride. Same thing with lower body, lift up the leg, go across the midline and let it pull your upper body over. You're going to do the same thing going back, lift up the leg, let it pull you across the midline and your lower body moves, upper body stays still. This is a fantastic exercise. This will give you unbelievable results. This is something that we will pretty much do in every session after the session. We're stretching out the spine. We're getting the individual muscles in between each individual vertebrae working rather than the big primal movers. Supine pelvic tilts. So we're going to lay on our back, bring our knees up slightly. We're going to arch our back. So you turn our back towards the floor and flatten our back. Arch your back, flatten back. So as you arch towards your knees, you flatten your back, making it flat against the floor. You're going to do this consistently. We are working the pelvis. This will help you control the pelvis better in your golf swing, give you more power and distance. We're going to do exactly the same thing now on all fours. Going to find neutral in your spine, arch your back, flatten your back, arch your back, flatten your back, arch your back and flatten your back. And then pull your hands into the mat and sit back into your heels so there's pressure in the mat with your hands. Come back up. Same thing. Find neutral. Pull your hands into the mat and then slowly sit back onto your feet. Find neutral spine again. Do that by arching in and flattening your back. Arch your back, flatten your back, and then find neutral, which is halfway in between. This is it from another angle. Arch your back, flatten your back, arch back, flatten your back, find neutral. From this position you can do half kneeling pelvic tilt, so put one leg forward, one knee down, make sure your pelvis is straight. Now we're going to arch and flatten your back. Now if this exercise is too difficult and you're not getting no movement, then you're just going to continue on with the quadruped version until you can gravitate up to this exercise. We're focusing on going from the ground all the way to standing. Now we're going to do half kneeling step outs. So you're going to step out in front, step out in front. You're just leaning forward, just opening up the hip. Just do a couple of those. Now, same thing, half kneeling hip stretches. You're going to tilt your pelvis backwards, and as you stretch the front of your hip, you're going to turn your glute on. So you focus on the glute to turn that muscle on, and it's going to turn off the muscles on the front of the hip, and then you're going to breathe in, breathe out, and stretch forward. Keep your focus on that glute, and get deeper each time. Switch sides, exactly the same. Find neutral pelvis, tilt your pelvis back. You're going to turn that glute on, stretch into the mat. As you breathe in, breathe out, you're going to take a bit more of a stretch. Turn that glute on, activate that glute, breathe in, breathe out, and then go more into the stretch. Do it one more time. And as you get in that last position, just hold it there for a little while. Then we'll do lumbar lock, internal rotation. Get into the prone rocking position, put your elbows together, and place the arm in the small of your back. When you place your arm in the middle of the back, Turn your shoulder to the ceiling and come back down to your starting position. Repeat that a couple of times, and then you're going to change to the other side. Again, elbows together, opposite arm in the middle of your back, rotate your shoulder to your ceiling. Now, same but external rotation, so you put the hand on the ear this time, and you turn your elbow to the ceiling. Each time coming back to neutral, where you started. Do a few of those, and you will change side. We are again opening up the upper back, while the lower back is staying completely locked. This gives us a good stretch in the upper back, which will give you more of a turn and give you the ability to get through the golf ball. Lat stretch. So you're going to get into the all fours position, put your hands in front of you, put one arm to one side, and then you're going to focus on that lat. So as you put arm one side, find neutral, and sit back into the hip, and you'll feel that stretch in the lat. Breathe in, breathe out, get lower each time. Just open up that lat. Going to do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to start on all fours, put one hand the other side of your opposite hand, sit back into the same side hip, and stretch that lat. If it feels tight, just sit there and breathe through it. But really what you're going to do is you're going to push into the floor, breathe in, breathe out, and drop into that hip.